The fatal mistake. The Kareth warship's plasma cannons illuminated the night sky over New Eden Colony, their violet beams cutting through the peaceful settlement's minimal defensive shields like they weren't even there. The attack came without warning, without provocation, and without mercy. Governor Sarah Chen watched in horror from the colony's administrative center as the settlement's elementary school took a direct hit, its reinforced walls crumbling under the assault. "Get me Earth Command now," she shouted, her voice steady despite the trembling in her hands. The communications officer's fingers flew across the holographic interface, but the response came too late. By the time the emergency quantum transmission reached Earth, 43 colonists were dead. 12 of them were children. In the Galactic Senate chamber on Centauri Prime, the news spread like a shockwave. The Kareth Empire's ambassador, High Lord Vothek, stood before the assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds, his scaled chest puffed out with pride. The human settlement was violating territorial agreements, he declared, mandibles clicking in what passed for amusement among his kind. "We simply enforced our rightful claims." Earth's ambassador, Admiral James Martinez, sat silently in his chair, his dark eyes fixed on Vothek. The chamber buzzed with whispers and nervous glances. Everyone knew humans were newcomers to the galactic stage, barely 2 centuries into faster-than-light travel. The Kareth Empire had been expanding across the stars for millennia. Surely the humans would back down, accept whatever compensation the Empire deigned to offer, and retreat to their corner of space. They didn't know about the fleets hiding in the dark matter clouds beyond Pluto. They didn't know about Project Thunderhead, or the quantum foundries beneath Mars' surface that had been producing warships for the past 50 years. They didn't know that humanity had learned from its own bloody history and vowed never to be caught unprepared again. Martinez stood slowly, the movement drawing all eyes in the chamber. His voice, when it came, was quiet but carried to every corner of the vast space. "High Lord Vothek, I have been authorized to share something with you, something about humanity that you seem to have fundamentally misunderstood." He activated a small holographic projector, and the image of a young girl filled the chamber. She was smiling, her front teeth missing, holding up a science project about terraforming. "This is Rebecca Chen. She was 7 years old. She wanted to be a botanical engineer. She died when your warships bombed her school." The chamber fell silent. Even Vothek's mandibles stilled. "Throughout human history," Martinez continued, "we have had our share of empires, of conquerors who thought might made right. But we learned something they didn't, something you're about to learn." He paused, looking around the chamber. "The truly mighty don't need to prove their power. They keep it in reserve, hidden away, praying they never have to use it." Vothek's compound eyes flickered with the first hints of uncertainty. "Are you threatening the Kareth Empire, Ambassador? We who have ruled the outer arm for 10,000 years." Martinez smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "No, High Lord. I'm not threatening anything. I'm simply informing you that in exactly 24 hours, the human race will expect your unconditional surrender. If it doesn't come..." He let the silence stretch for a moment. "Well, we've hidden our true nature for long enough. It's time to show the galaxy why, on ancient Earth, parents told their children to fear the dark." The quantum transmission he sent next wasn't to Earth. The code phrase was simple: "Open the dark door." In the Oort cloud, giant hangar doors began to open. In the clouds of Mars, assembly lines that had been running in secret for half a century kicked into high gear. And in bases across human space, soldiers who had trained their entire lives for this moment began to suit up. Humanity had hoped to join galactic society as peaceful equals. The Kareth Empire had just ensured that they would instead emerge as its most feared power. And somewhere in the great darkness between the stars, Rebecca Chen's spirit waited for justice. Silent preparations. Deep beneath the red sands of Mars, General Diana Wright stood before a holographic display that stretched from floor to ceiling. It showed thousands of green dots moving in perfect formation, humanity's hidden fleet emerging from its countless secret harbors. For 50 years, Earth had maintained a careful facade of technological mediocrity, while preparing for a moment they hoped would never come. "Status report," she commanded, her silver hair reflecting the soft blue light of the display. Colonel Jung stepped forward, his augmented eyes scanning streams of data. "Project Thunderhead is at 98% readiness, General. The quantum foundries have completed the final wave of Nemesis-class dreadnoughts. All ships are crewed and combat-ready." Wright nodded, her expression grim. The foundries had been her life's work. Massive automated factories hidden in dark matter clouds, powered by artificial quantum singularities. While the Kareth Empire paraded their outdated plasma cannons and kinetic shields, humanity had quietly mastered technologies that the older races had deemed impossible. "And the Lazarus Protocol. Ready for deployment, ma'am. Though I pray we won't need it." The Lazarus Protocol was humanity's ultimate deterrent, a technology so powerful that even its existence was known to only a handful of people. Wright sometimes wondered if they had gone too far in their preparations, but then she remembered the lessons of history. Humanity had been vulnerable once. Never again. In high orbit above Europa, Admiral Sarah Connor supervised the final deployment of the Ghost Fleet. Unlike the brutish, visible ships of the Kareth, human vessels incorporated quantum stealth technology. They were practically invisible to conventional sensors, their hull plates absorbing or redirecting all forms of electromagnetic radiation. "Fleet Command, this is Admiral Connor. Status of Operation Nightfall." The response came instantly through her neural link. "All units in position, Admiral. The Kareth remain unaware of our deployments. Their sensor networks are still focused on conventional space." Connor allowed herself a small smile. The arrogance of the old empires had always been their weakness. They believed they had mastered the fundamental forces of the universe, never imagining that a primitive race might approach physics from an entirely different direction. In the diplomatic quarter on Luna, Ambassador Martinez sat in his private office, watching real-time updates from across the solar system. The Kareth had 12 hours left to surrender, but he already knew they wouldn't. Their empire had stood for 10 millennia. Why would they fear a species that had only reached the stars 2 centuries ago? "Is quantum comm chimed?" "Mr. Ambassador, we're detecting increased activity in Kareth military installations. They appear to be mobilizing their fleet." Martine sighed. "As expected, they think they're calling our bluff." He opened a secure channel to General Wright. "Diana, they're moving. Shall we show them what humanity has been working on all these years?" "Confirmed, James. All units are in position. Though I have to ask, do you think we're doing the right thing? Once we reveal our true capabilities, the galaxy will never look at humanity the same way again." Martinez looked at the hologram on his desk, another image of Rebecca Chen, laughing with her friends just days before the attack. "They gave us no choice, Diana. We tried to join their galactic community peacefully. We followed their rules. We smiled and nodded when they treated us like children, but they crossed the line we drew in the stars. They harmed our children." In the vast shipyards hidden within Saturn's rings, the final preparations were complete. Humanity's fleet was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. While other races built their ships like floating fortresses, human vessels were elegant and organic in design, incorporating biological components and quantum-linked AI systems. Each ship was practically alive, capable of learning and adapting in combat. The Kareth Empire had no idea that their casual act of cruelty was about to unleash something unprecedented in galactic history. Humanity's full technological might, developed in secret over half a century of paranoid preparation. They were about to learn why Earth's classification as a minor power had been the greatest deception in galactic history. High Lord Vothek, still on Centauri Prime, received the first reports of human fleet movements with dismissive amusement. The spatial distortions their sensors detected were surely some primitive attempt at deception. After all, how could the humans possibly hide a significant fleet? The Empire's surveys of Earth space had shown only a handful of crewed warships. He was about to learn that humanity had not spent the last 50 years catching up to galactic technology. They had taken their own path, one that would rewrite the rules of warfare forever. The ultimatum. The Galactic Senate chamber on Centauri Prime had never been so crowded. Representatives from every spacefaring race had gathered, drawn by rumors of an unprecedented human military mobilization. The massive chamber hummed with nervous energy as Ambassador Martinez approached the central podium. High Lord Vathek sat in the Kareth Empire's ornate seat, his mandibles twitching with apparent boredom. The deadline for surrender was minutes away, but he showed no sign of concern. Around him, other representatives shifted uneasily in their seats. They had all detected strange gravitational anomalies throughout known space, but none could explain their source. Martinez's voice cut through the chamber's whispers. Honored representatives of the Galactic Senate, I stand before you today, not just as Earth's ambassador, but as a harbinger of change. He paused, his dark eyes finding Vathek. The Kareth Empire was given 24 hours to surrender unconditionally. That time has expired. Vathek's translator clicked as he laughed. Surrender? To what? Your primitive fleet of a few hundred ships. The Empire's smallest battle group cooled. Martins raised his hand, and every holographic display in the chamber activated simultaneously. The images they showed caused gasps of shock and disbelief to ripple through the assembly. Massive fleets of ships unlike anything the galaxy had seen before were emerging from seemingly empty space, their designs organic and predatory, their hulls gleaming with technologies that shouldn't exist. For 50 years, Martins continued, humanity has maintained a carefully crafted illusion. You saw what we wanted you to see. A young, struggling species trying to find its place among the stars. What you didn't see was Project Thunderhead. What you didn't see was the Lazarus Protocol. What you didn't see was humanity's true face. The displays showed more ships appearing, their numbers growing exponentially. Some seemed to phase into existence from parallel dimensions. Others emerged from quantum singularities. Each vessel radiated power readings that made the Empire's strongest dreadnoughts look like children's toys. We come from a world that tried to kill us every day of our evolution. Martinez's voice hardened. We survived ice ages, megavolcanoes, and our own nuclear weapons. We watched our children die from diseases until we mastered genetic engineering to save them. We split atoms, harnessed quantum mechanics, and learned to fold space while you were still congratulating yourselves on mastering plasma weapons. Vathek stood, his compound eyes reflecting the holographic displays. For the first time, real fear showed in his posture. This is impossible. Our surveys saw exactly what we wanted them to see. Martinez finished for him. Did you really think we would show our true capabilities to a galaxy that might one day threaten our children? Humanity learned long ago that peace comes through strength, and strength through preparation. He touched a control, and new images appeared. Quantum foundries bigger than moons, shipyards hidden in dark matter clouds, fleets of vessels that could outmaneuver and outgun anything in known space. This is your final chance, High Lord Vathek. Surrender the Kareth Empire unconditionally, or face the consequences of your actions. You killed our children. Now learn why every human parent would gladly die to protect their young. The chamber erupted in chaos as representatives realized the balance of power they had known for millennia was about to shatter. Some races immediately began transmitting peace offers to Earth. Others sat in stunned silence. Vathek's translator stuttered as he tried to process this revelation. You deceived us all. This violation off. No, Martinez cut him off. We protected ourselves. We prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. You proved our caution was justified when you murdered innocent children. He straightened his uniform. You have 1 hour to surrender, High Lord. After that, humanity will demonstrate exactly why we hid our true nature for so long. Because we knew that once we revealed ourselves, the galaxy would never be the same. In orbit around Earth, General Wright watched the transmission with grim satisfaction. All units, this is command. Initiate final preparations for Operation Thunderhead. If the Kareth Empire chooses war, we will show them why humanity's children sleep safely in their beds. The next hour would determine whether the galaxy witnessed a peaceful transition of power or a demonstration of military might that would be remembered for millennia to come. Thunder of Humanity. High Lord Vathek's response came precisely 1 minute before the deadline expired. His voice, translated through the Senate systems, dripped with contempt. The Kareth Empire does not bow to primitive apes. Launch the fleet. Show these humans the price of their arrogance. Ambassador Martinez closed his eyes briefly. So be it. He opened a quantum channel to all human forces. Operation Thunderhead is now active. Rules of engagement are as follows. Minimal civilian casualties. Precision strikes only. Show them our power, but also our mercy. Across known space, humanity's hidden fleets shimmered into full visibility. The Kareth Empire's military installations detected thousands of quantum signatures materializing simultaneously across their territory. Before their sensors could even classify the threats, the first strikes began. Admiral Connor's Ghost Fleet struck first. Ships appearing seemingly out of nowhere, their quantum-phased weapons bypassing the Empire's strongest shields as if they weren't there. Strategic targets, military installations, weapon platforms, and command centers disappeared in precise flashes of controlled quantum annihilation. Target their fleet coordination centers, Connor ordered. Disable their command and control capabilities first. Her neural link transmitted tactical data instantly to every ship in her command. The human vessels moved with impossible grace, their bioengineered hulls adapting and learning from each engagement. In the Kareth home system, General Wright's main battle fleet emerged from quantum space. The Empire's defense fleet, thousands of ships strong, moved to intercept. What followed wasn't so much a battle as a demonstration of technological superiority. Human vessels danced through enemy formation, their quantum drives allowing them to partially exist in multiple dimensions at once. Kareth weapons, designed to combat conventional shields and armor, proved useless against hulls that could phase out of normal spacetime. This is General Wright to all Kareth vessels, her voice transmitted on all frequencies. Your weapons cannot harm us. Your shields cannot stop us. Stand down, and you will be spared. Some Kareth commanders, seeing the futility of resistance, powered down their weapons. Others, driven by pride or desperation, continued to fight. Their ships were disabled with surgical precision, weapons and engines neutralized without destroying the vessels themselves. From his command throne on the Kareth capital world, Vathek watched in horror as his empire's military crumbled in hours. Reports flooded in from across Kareth space. Strategic installations neutralized, fleets disabled, command centers silent. Yet civilian populations remained untouched, orbital habitats preserved, and trade stations operational. A human vessel appeared in orbit above the capital, its organic hull rippling with patterns of light that defied description. General Wright's hologram materialized in Vathek's throne room. Your military capability has been neutralized, High Lord, she stated calmly. We could have destroyed your empire entirely. Instead, we disabled your ability to make war while preserving your civilization. This is not mere mercy. It is a demonstration of true power. The strong need not destroy to prove their strength. In the Galactic Senate, Martinez watched the holographic displays showing the aftermath of humanity's response. Let this serve as both demonstration and warning. He addressed the stunned assembly. Humanity desires peace. We wish to trade, to share knowledge, to grow together. But we will not be threatened. We will not be bullied. And above all, we will not allow our children to be harmed. The Kareth Empire's military had been dismantled in less than 6 hours. Not a single civilian casualty had been recorded. Humanity had demonstrated not just overwhelming force, but precise, controlled power backed by technology that bordered on the miraculous. As reports spread across the galaxy, other civilizations began to understand. Humanity hadn't spent 50 years catching up to galactic standards. They had quietly surpassed them, advancing in directions no other race had conceived possible. Their restraint in victory, their precision in warfare, and their protection of civilian lives spoke of a civilization far more advanced than anyone had imagined. New Dawn. 3 months after Operation Thunderhead, the Galactic Senate convened for a historic session. The chamber had been redesigned, no longer arranged in hierarchical tiers based on technological advancement or age of spaceflight, but in a circular pattern where all representatives sat as equals. Ambassador Martinez stood at the central podium, but this time his posture was relaxed, his expression gentle. Before him lay the Galactic Cooperation Treaty, a document that would reshape interstellar relations for generations to come. "We did not reveal our true capabilities to dominate," he began, his voice carrying to every corner of the chamber. "We did not demonstrate our power to rule. Humanity remembers its own history, how empires rise and fall, how dominance breeds resistance, and how true strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the wisdom to build." The former High Lord Vothek, now serving as a regular representative of his people, shifted uncomfortably in his seat. The Kareth hadn't been destroyed or enslaved as many had expected. Instead, humanity had helped them transition to a democratic system, providing aid to rebuild their economy around peaceful industries. "The Terran Federation proposes a new way forward," Martinez continued. "We will share our quantum technology gradually, ensuring each civilization has time to develop the ethical frameworks needed to handle such power. Our medical advances will be made available to all, starting with those worlds that need them most." General Wright, standing beside Martinez, activated a holographic display showing the first joint human-alien research facility on Mars. "The quantum foundries that built our fleets are being converted to produce medical equipment, terraforming technology, and exploration vessels. The same power that could destroy worlds will now be used to heal them." Admiral Connor's image appeared next, transmitted from the first Mixed Species Training Academy in orbit around Europa. "We invite officers from all civilizations to train alongside humans, learning not just our technology, but our philosophies of protection and service." In the Chambers Gallery, Sarah Chen, governor of New Eden Colony, watched with tears in her eyes. The settlement had been rebuilt, more beautiful than before, but now it hosted more than human children. Young ones from a dozen species played in its parks and attended its schools. "We hid our true nature out of fear," Martinez acknowledged. "We prepared for war while praying for peace, but now we offer something unprecedented in galactic history. A genuine partnership of equals, backed by technology advanced enough to prevent war rather than wage it." The Lazarus Protocol, humanity's ultimate deterrent, was revealed to be not a weapon, but a defensive technology capable of facing entire planets out of normal spacetime to protect them from attack. The same technology that could have destroyed civilizations could also preserve them. As the Senate voted unanimously to ratify the new treaty, Martinez looked out at the assembled representatives. "Let history remember this, not as the day humanity revealed its power, but as the day the galaxy chose cooperation over conflict, wisdom over war, and hope over fear." In the rebuilt school on New Eden, a memorial garden bloomed where Rebecca Chen and her classmates had died. But now it was more than a place of remembrance. It had become a symbol of transformation. Children from former enemy races studied together, learning each other's languages and cultures. Above the garden's entrance, words in a dozen languages spelled out a simple truth: the future belongs to those who build it together. The galaxy had indeed changed forever, but not through conquest or dominion. Humanity had shown that true power lay not in the ability to destroy, but in the choice to protect. Not in keeping secrets, but in sharing wisdom. Not in standing alone, but in reaching out to others. As Martinez looked up at the stars visible through the Senate's transparent dome, he smiled. Humanity had prepared for the worst, but achieved the best. a galaxy united not by fear, but by hope. The dark door they had opened led not to destruction, but to a dawn brighter than any race had imagined possible. And somewhere, in a garden on New Eden, children of a dozen species played together under the light of distant suns, their laughter echoing across the stars.